just had a powerful storm blow through. We were going to start at 7. We were going to try to start earlier, but then we were afraid the power was going to go out. So we waited till the storm passed, and now here we are. Your computer is on. I just heard the ding, the volume. Is that okay?
Yeah. Hello, ACNC12, Adrienne. Hello, Yana, Faith, Drew Cullen, my man, TT, Tiffany Tippin. Hello, Safe. Paula, Bruno, we just had a microburst roll through. Kellie and I opened the front door and peeked outside and just kind of watched the water fall from the sky. Hello, Edison Al.
Warm bursts of air and rain and wind. It was kind of cool.
Hello, Palmable. Hello, Kara. Hello, Yenny Martini. Hello, Renda, one of our very best customers. Hello, Anna. Hello, Hannah Herb. Hello, Rebecca. Brooksio, Anna Tool. Yeah, this is a thing. Hello, Christina. Everyone filing in quietly, taking their seats. If you hear the siren sound, everyone single file, get up and single file walk down to the basement. Hello, Hand. Hello, Safe. Season 7 of The Office. All right, Savanita. Yes, Savanita. Kim, you're not chopped liver. That's the first time I've seen your name. You're not chopped liver. If anybody's chopped liver, it's this guy.
True.
See? Hola, Sin Galavan in the casa, in su casa, in mi casa. Whoa, Bruno, you're in the. Are you really? Are the sirens going off up there? We just had a thing move through, and it was like
massive.
Like 5 minutes. It was like, I was kind of kidding Kellie, but I think it was a microburst, one of those just micro downpours real fast,
Yeah.
And the trees were doing this bit.
Weather is so fascinating, isn't it?
We were going to start earlier, but we were afraid we might lose power. That's Texan for power.
Yeah, I want to start it a little earlier, just trying, because when we do it later, I end up going to bed an hour later. And anyway, I'd like to start getting more sleep.
Oh, hail. Good grief. Okay. What do we need to do here? So we're going to do what ED says to do here. Give me some.
Test 1 2.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
Test.
Test.
Are we supposed to talk together?
Yes, we can do that too. Hello.
Okay.
Hello, Hand. Hello, Hand.
You told me to give you something, and then you started talking all over me.
Hello, Hand. Testes 1 2. Testes 1 2. Pop, 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 pop.
La 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 la.
Willie, use his finger. Please pick up the red courtesy phone. Willie, use his finger. Please pick up the red courtesy phone. Willie, use his finger.
You ready?
All right, Don.
We're gonna see. Thank y'all if y'all have been listening. I don't know if y'all have been listening to the podcast or not. Y'all are here in the chat room. Hopefully you are listening, but we've been having some static issues. And the poor Blake is having to edit them all out. So hopefully tonight it'll be a clean podcast. You won't have any issues with that. You ready, baby?
To say this is a Mickey Mouse operation, you know what I think.
It's an insult to Mickey Mouse or something like that. Welcome to another episode of A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. I'm Kellie Rasberry Evans. This is my husband and podcast co-host, Alan Evans.
Hey, Trey!
Just jumping right in. Jumping right into the podcast.
We've had to face a lot of adversity before this podcast. I can name you 3 things that we had to overcome before this podcast.
What?
Number 1, a big freaking horsefly was in here.
It was gigantic. It was pestering us. And
yes.
My husband, my hero, climbed up on a chair.
No, I stood on this table.
Then on the table, yeah, and he swatted him, and it fell down with a thud in his chair.
Yes.
It literally thudded. It was that big.
First swipe, I got him with the fly swatter.
Thank you, honey. You didn't even smear the ceiling with
that was
fly guts or anything.
That was adversity number 1. Adversity number 2 is, seriously, guys, we've had severe weather move through our area in the last 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I was joking Kellie, but I said, here, come to the door, babe. I think it was a microburst.
Yeah.
Where it looks like just the bottom falls out of the sky and someone dumped God dumped a gigantic bucket of water on
and
you.
And then blew.
Yeah.
The wind gusts. It was really cool. Weather is cool. It's scary too, but
lots of energy.
I just stood in the doorway and felt the warm wind and the rain go. It was really kind of cool.
Yeah.
I hope nobody gotten, I don't want anybody to be, I hate to say that if there's somebody got in an accident because of it, you know what I'm saying? But weather's just so awesome.
And then the third thing is we've had technical difficulties here on this podcast.
Multiple.
Probably since we started 4 years ago.
We're sorry. We do our best.
And that's not good enough.
It's never good enough. We started off on Facebook, recording it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And because we do like to, I don't know why we started it, but we have like a little family of people that get together and watch us on YouTube now when we record this on Monday and Wednesday evenings. But the Facebook was glitching and pixelating and all this stuff. But, they're getting ready to make Facebook more podcast friendly. I saw a little blurb about that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Zuckerberg's going to make it friendly, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
If people are, our friend got banned. She got banned by Facebook because she reposted.
And today's her birthday.
Today's her birthday.
Susan,
she has an opinion, man, and she wants it to let it be known on Facebook, which you know what? I don't know. I've always felt this about Facebook. I mean, people can do what they want. People want to be heard, seen and heard, right? I just don't know that anybody's mind has ever been changed by something posted on Facebook. I don't know, so either you're preaching to the choir or you're pissing somebody off. And apparently she pissed off Zuckerberg or some bot. I have a real hard time thinking there's a committee of people sitting there. There has to be a bot looking for keywords, right?
Probably. She's
in timeout for 30 days.
I had Kellie film me singing her a birthday song today.
Yeah.
And I sent it to Susan, a happy birthday song, me playing on the guitar. And apparently she loved it and was showing all her friends at lunch.
So loved
Did she show everybody at Albernays too?
Yes, honey, she loved it.
Can I sing it for our listeners?
If you really want to. You're so proud of it.
Okay. Susan, you said loved it.
She did.
And Kellie called me and said Susan was going nuts over your song, babe. After Kellie left lunch, she said Susan was going crazy about your song. And I'm like, oh, it's nice that Susan appreciates my humor. At least Susan does.
Like I told you, I said, because she only gets little spare doses of it. I have to live with it.
She only gets it like once a month.
And I can't laugh hysterically at everything you do.
Well, okay, here's how it went. It went, what key am I supposed to be in? It went, happy birthday, Susan. You got banned again. Zuckerberg success. But you're still my friend.
That was it.
And many more.
She was hysterical laughing at that.
Yeah.
I was too, honey.
Thank you.
On the inside. I had to not laugh out loud because I was filming.
Right.
And a good camera person doesn't interrupt.
Oh, but the third adversity, then we got on our buddy hole, was all the technical difficulties we've had. So we had to do a lot. We got a new SD card in the Rode Class A servo bias preamp with the Aphex onboard technology.
I don't know what that means. Apparently, we keep having static on all of our podcasts.
So we apologize.
And we do apologize if you've suffered through it, because we can't hear it on our end. And when we upload it out in the universe, we don't know what happens. But
we've got our
hopefully it's better now.
We got our best people on this problem. We got ED working on it.
My best friend since 5th grade is FaceTiming me right now.
We got Blake working on it.
She's FaceTiming me, Alan. I'm rejecting Tommy Jean.
Well, any other
Tommy Jean, I'll call you back. I'll FaceTime you back, honey.
any other time? Maybe she probably remembers that we don't start until 8.
Yeah, we're recording a little early.
She was trying to get a quick call in before we
I
started.
hope it's nothing important. Anyway, we'll get to Tommy Jean later, but we do have
Well,
a lot
whatever
of
it is, it's more important than this podcast.
No,
I'll tell
it's
you that.
not. It is not. We've got a lot of good stuff to get to on this podcast.
We do?
Well, today, as of the day we're recording this podcast, which is May 3rd, you'll hear it on May the 4th be with you.
Tomorrow's Star Wars Day.
Yes, tomorrow, the day the
Oh,
podcast
crap.
drops is Star Wars Day.
Well, why didn't we do any Star Wars bits on this podcast?
That's your fault, producer Alan.
Unbelievable.
You want to stop and start over with your Star Wars bits?
Get that.
Well, I just reminded you.
I might have to do, I don't know, just a people love list. I might have to do an impromptu, my top 10 Star Wars characters.
That's fine. You can do that.
Good.
So
night.
that's coming up since this is going to be released on May the 4th, be with you. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates announced today on May 3rd that after 27 years of marriage, they're getting divorced. Will this go down as the most expensive divorce in history? You know, that currently belongs
I think that was
to,
actually mine.
well, maybe, you know what? If you did like, what do you call it? Like a relativity scale.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's all, you know, if you compared
Cost
like,
divided by income.
yeah, it might have been. Who knows?
Maybe it was.
But Jeff Bezos, you know, has the record for the most expensive divorce, but those numbers are about to change.
But his yeah, that's a good call, babe, because his cost of divorce divided by what he's worth.
Yeah.
It's probably like me paying $5 to get a divorce.
See, that's all relative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like when these celebrities throw these ridiculous over the top parties and things, it's like, yeah, but we do it too for our kids. It's just, you know, it's all relative, right? Anyway, apples to apples, oranges to oranges. But I found a list of the most expensive divorces in history prior to the Gates divorce, which I think is very interesting that we're going to go over. And also, you know, I do Love Letters to Kellie on the Kid Craddock Morning Show.
nationally syndicated.
And Kid Craddock had me start doing this over 25 years ago. So, I mean, they say if you do anything for 10,000 hours, it makes you an expert. So I guess I am the love expert at this point. Certainly, I've done more than 10,000 hours of giving out love advice. So much so that we went from doing it once a week on the Kid Craddock Morning Show to twice a week. And then I still have so many letters I can't get to.
Done.
We started doing a Love Letters to Kellie podcast. Would love for you to check that out. It drops every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Central.
With Robert Ehrman.
Robert Ehrman reading me the letters. I have to have somebody read them to me.
Stop talking.
And then I thought, you know, I still have a surplus of letters. So I thought I'd bring them over to our A Sandwich and Some Lovin' podcast. I've done this before. And instead of hearing my advice, wouldn't you love to hear from Alan Evans, a love expert in training?
Well, I would rebut this point and say, you know what? If there was a big market of people who wanted to hear me comment on love advice, then I'd have my own podcast.
Well,
I don't.
If you started a Love Letters to Alan podcast, then people would address them to you. So I'm going to let you take a stab at some of these, and I'm going to refrain from commenting. I'm going to let your advice lay where it lays.
Like a hot, steamy
Lay,
turd.
is that right?
Yeah.
Lay there. Whatever you say
like a dog
goes.
lays a steamer on a cold morning.
Yeah, and I might have to just, you know, bite my tongue if I don't agree with you, but
You know,
that's the rules.
You know, I was once on the Black Planter podcast.
I know you've said that multiple times, and you haven't taken the time to go out yet to find out which podcast it is so you can refer people to it.
If the host doesn't care, I certainly
Well, the
don't
host
care.
doesn't care about the Black Planter podcast, which you keep bringing up, or Star Wars Day.
No, not
You
this
drop
host.
the ball
The
all
host-
over the place.
No, the host of the Black Planter. He doesn't
Mhm.
care.
Mm-hmm.
My man.
Anyway, we got a lot to. I think we're going to have a fun podcast.
Well, why
Thank
don't you
for
do a little
joining
bit
us.
of that, and
I
then we'll
am,
do a
honey.
little bit of this.
Oh, you're just doing that just to get under my skin. Speaking of my skin, you know, I'm always asked about my skincare routine, which I think is very flattering. But, you know, the rest of your skin matters too. There's a lot going on from the neck down. You need to take care of your skin. And I was really excited when Osea came on as a podcast sponsor because my skin was in desperate need of love and attention. I even challenged them on the phone. We had a phone call before they came on board. I said, look, if you can do something to fix my dry, cracked elbows, I will sing your praises from the rooftops, because nothing I tried was working. And I tried everything. I even tried getting one of those petty scraper things, that you do on your heels. I was trying to do that on my elbows. I drew blood. It was bad. Well, they told me to try Osea's Undaria algae body oil and just see what happens, Kelly. I'm like, all right, I was skeptical because nothing else had worked. But after just a few days, my elbows were gorgeous. If elbows could be described as gorgeous,
yours were gorgeous.
Mine were.
Yes.
It works. And it's not just my elbows. I love hot showers, but what does it do? It sucks all the moisture out of your skin. My legs, my arms, dry and ashy. But I use Osea's Undaria algae body oil after every shower, again before bed. It melts into my skin. I love the smell of it. Just a little citrusy, not too much, a little whiff of passion fruit. And Alan can hug on me and not coming away covered in grease, right? Because my body absorbs it. And I love that Osea is a female-founded business. It's operated by a mother-daughter team. All of their skin and body care products are powered by the sea with responsibly sourced plant-derived ingredients, vegan and cruelty-free. Osea is good for your skin, and it's good for the planet.
And you can try Osea risk-free for 30 days and get free shipping on orders over $50. They even send free samples with every order, and get 10% off your first order with promo code SANDWICH at OseaMalibu.com. That's 10% off with code SANDWICH at OseaMalibu. That's OseaMalibu.com.
Thank you, honey.
We love Osea.
All right, so let's get down to money. First of all,
Money.
let me just ask you this. Do you believe in soulmates, Alan? Do you believe in soulmates?
It's kind of a deep question.
It's not deep. Either you do or you don't.
What is that? What's the definition?
Some people
Define,
believe you
please.
have one perfect soulmate, that's your soul. Once you connect, that's it. I personally believe you can connect with multiple people on a soul level. It could be friendships. You can have a soul-to-soul connection with friends. You could have a soul-to-soul connection with, just colleagues. Sometimes your work, like that on a business level. I think with romantic relationships as well. I don't think who's to say? In my opinion, I think you can have multiple soulmates.
I don't want to call bullshit on the soulmate concept, but there are 3.5 billion people on the planet. That's a lot of people.
And you think you're going to find your perfect soulmate just happens to be living in your same town. That's really, but I think you can connect on those levels. And I also believe you can be truly in love more than once, right? Well, a poll that YouGov did, YouGov.com, says that 60% of Americans do believe in soulmates, 23% do not, 18% not sure. So women are more likely than men to believe in soulmates, 64% compared to 55%.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I love what Steven Tyler said from Aerosmith when he came to our studios many years ago. And he was with this woman, and she was beautiful. She was young. And we were like, man, is this it, Steven? Because he's always with all these different women. He said, she's my soulmate for now.
Yeah.
My soulmate for now.
I fully support.
They connected on that level.
I fully support that comment.
But they're not together anymore, by the way. All right. So there's also a thing, according to AARP, that experts are seeing a rise in gray divorces. And you've got longer life expectancy, increased emphasis on self-satisfaction. Everybody's looking out. It's all about me. I need to feel good. I want to live happy. My marriage isn't making me happy, so peace out. And there also is more of a social acceptance about divorce. When I was growing up, I remember when my first friend's the first divorce I knew about, when my friend's parents got divorced, it was the first divorce I knew about. I was horrified. It was just very taboo.
I don't remember having any friends. I'm sure there were, but I don't really remember.
Nobody talked about it.
Yeah,
it was embarrassing.
I don't remember. None of my close friends, their parents were all together.
Well, now it's more socially acceptable, though.
But yeah, in the 70s and 80s, I can't remember another family that had divorce.
Well, they
parents.
said because of the longer life expectancy, we all want to feel good and live our happiness, live our truths, and the social acceptance of divorce. They're seeing a big increase in divorce rates for people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. 2/3 of women say they initiated their mid and late life divorces. 26% of men whose wives filed for divorce say they never saw it coming. But see, my opinion on that. I think men that don't want to be married anymore, they just are bums. I have somebody that's messaging me right now that I know, an acquaintance. I'm not going to betray anybody's trust, but he's just like, I'm not happy. You don't make me happy. I don't know what I want. He moves out. Yeah, I'll go to counseling. But he doesn't.
Wait,
I'm
what? Is this a love letter?
No. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this. I'm not doing a love letter. I'm just talking.
Is this someone you know?
Are you doing Star Wars stuff so you're not listening to me?
No.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
People love lists.
He's doing Star Wars. So this is just listen. You and me.
No, I'm listening.
Lovin audience.
I just wanted to know if.
No, you don't know them. So anyway, but like I said, yes, because you're not paying attention to me.
Why did you give me the hand?
Because you're not listening to me, and you're my partner.
Kellie and Alan are always bickering. They're always bickering.
Anyway, I said to her, because she wants my advice, she's like, I just want him back. I was like, okay, look, you need to go ahead and call an attorney and get your legal options, because what he's doing is he is pushing you to file, because men don't want to be the bad guy. They're going to be the bad guy because they're pushing you to file. That way, when you're the one, they can say, I was blindsided. I thought we were going to work on things. I couldn't believe she filed for divorce. Happens time and time again. So anyway, that all leads me to the increasing in gray divorces with Bill and Melinda Gates, because, he's going to lose a lot of money in this divorce. He is 65 years old. She is 56, 27 years together.
Yeah, but how much is that dude worth? He's worth $50 billion or whatever.
A lot. He's worth an estimated right now $130.5 billion.
Sorry, $130 billion.
To Forbes. Not clear. We're not 100% sure about the prenup situation, but the New York Times did reference that they reportedly had a prenup in a 1997 article.
Smart man.
But you know what? A lot of prenups have stipulations in them. Like, if we're married for 10 years, you get X amount of money. If we're married for 20 years, you get this much money. And they say that's one of the big reasons I heard that Tom Cruise divorced Nicole Kidman when he did, because they were about to hit that 10-year threshold.
Well, so
that's one of the rumors I heard about that.
For Big Tomas Cruise, it was a business decision, huh?
Well, yeah, if your marriage is heading for divorce anyway, and it's like, if I wait 3 more weeks, I've got to pay her X millions.
Wow.
Would you go ahead and pull the trigger at 9 years and 10 months?
So who do you think's worth more, he or she?
Him.
Tom or Nicole?
Oh, him. Absolutely.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I was like, okay, I know that Jeff Bezos and his wife, or his ex-wife now, are the most expensive divorce in history. Let's see. Let me scroll all the way down to this list.
How much billion does he have?
Well, he would have had more if she hadn't taken so much of it. Let's see. His divorce cost him $68 billion.
Gosh.
He's now worth an estimated $137 billion. That's after the divorce.
So that was rather expensive for old Jeffrey, wasn't it?
Yeah, $68 billion.
Oh my God.
But let me go up. Okay, so this I won't spend a lot of time, but I think it's interesting because there's the top 20 divorces, but a lot of these in the top 20 are celebrity divorces.
Okay.
So I'll blow
these are the most expensive ones
in history. It's a very recent list. Of course, we don't know the terms. We don't know the terms of the Gates divorce yet.
Okay.
But this is on a website called Wealthy Gorilla. I'm going to look at more articles on this website. It looks like a good one. So coming in number 20, Kevin Costner and Cindy Silva. Way back in the day, she was a beautiful girl, but it cost, and we're not adjusting this for inflation either, $80 million.
Oofa.
And they were married in 1976, divorced in 94. So we're talking 27 years ago. If you adjust that $80 million for inflation, what would that be?
Well, we can figure it out pretty quick. You know what, though? The timing of that sounds right, because remember how big Kevin Costner was in the early 90s?
Yes.
He was making all his money in the early 90s. And then he got divorced in 94.
Yeah, the sources, and just real quick, it said sources suggest that Kevin had a bit of a wandering eye and his wife did not like some of his more sexy movie roles. I'm sure that caused a lot of conflict coming home. And it's like, you know, who were you making out with on the set today? Who knows? Reportedly gave him
Serious actors have to do that.
Gave him some sort of ultimatum. But they said it was an amicable settlement and he paid out $80 million.
Actors have to do that.
Number 19 is Harrison Ford and Melissa Matheson. Cost him $85 million.
Ouch.
Yeah, they married in 83. They were together 17 years. They divorced. They didn't have a prenup. So she ended up with $118 million.
Again, married in 83, married how many years? Harrison Ford made all the Indiana Jones movies, all the Star Wars movies. Blade Runner, he was the biggest Hollywood leading man. Let's cut that in half.
Number 18, Madonna and Guy Ritchie. They were married 7 years, ended in 2008. She said the spark just went out of their relationship, where he was saying he felt like he had stepped into this soap opera and he was just a player in Madonna's soap opera.
He wasn't kinky enough.
But he's the one that walked away with that $92 million as part of his divorce settlement.
Good man.
Number 17, Steven Spielberg and Amy Irving.
Oh, yes.
They were only married 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it cost him $100 million.
That better have been good stuff.
And that was in 1985. Again, adjust for inflation. At the time, in 85, at $100 million, it was one of the most expensive divorces in the world. Number 16, Tiger Woods, Elin Nordgren.
Oh, yes.
$110 million. He admitted he'd been having an affair or multiple affairs in 2010. And then they ended their 6-year marriage. But they had both signed a prenup. But because of Tiger's behavior, the prenup was renegotiated. So those things can be renegotiated. So she earned an estimated $110 million in that divorce. Has she remarried? I know she made a baby with a former football player, I want to say, but I don't think she remarried.
She made a baby since Tiger?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
I think he's a former football player.
Huh.
Neil Diamond and Marsha Murphy are number 15 on the list. They were together for 25 years. And it cost him $150 million because he strayed outside of their relationship and he blamed himself for much of what happened to lead to their divorce. So I hope she was worth $150.
Hey, babe, the podcast statistician just pinged me and he said that in 1982 $100 million today is worth 2.7 or $1 million is worth $2.7 million today.
Okay, so 2.7.
So it's over double, almost 3 times.
Wow. Number 14 on the list, Michael Jordan and Juanita Vinoy. If you saw Michael Jordan's, what was it called? His documentary. I can't remember it right now. They barely touched on.
They didn't talk about it.
Not at all about Juanita, but she gave him like 3 children, right?
The Last
Dance or something.
The Last Dance, yeah.
Anyway, they were married in 1989 in Vegas while he was playing for the Bulls. They ended their marriage once and for all in 2016, and she got $168 million, plus custody of their children and their 7-acre Chicago mansion.
Wow.
A Chicago mansion. There's 7 acres in Chicago you could have.
Juanita got it.
Number 13 on the list, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver. Remember when she caught him?
It's not the
housekeeper.
It's not the housekeeper.
And had a baby.
No.
And they didn't even, she welcomed this kid in the house. The housekeeper's there the whole time raising a baby. And it was Arnold's. This just insulting, a slap in the face.
I was playing with my Uzi 9mm. It was not what you think.
But after 25 years of marriage, it cost him basically $10 million a year, $250 million for that. They ended their marriage in 2011. They did not have a signed prenup in place.
I wish I could just have 1% of all of these.
Yeah. Number 12 on the list is Angelina and Brad.
Brangelina.
Remember, they were together forever, finally got married, and that was it. $400 million.
That picture of her you have on your screen is not the best picture I've ever seen of her.
Well, some days are better than others.
She does not look good in that picture.
Number 11, Robert Johnson and Sheila Crump Johnson. Now, he is the founder or the co-founder of BET, Black Entertainment Television. He became one of the first African American billionaires in the year 2000. And his 33-year marriage, that's a long time to be married, but in 2002, announced their divorce, and Sheila walked away with $400 million.
Wow.
Number 10 on the list, Mel Gibson and Robin Moore. They had about 12, they had so many kids together. It was crazy how many kids they had together. Remember that?
That dude's rolled through a few wives too, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's only been married. I remember he had that ballerina that he made a baby with, and then she accused him of all this abuse, but I don't know if they were ever married or not. I don't have that in front of me. But she, after 26 years together and the finalized divorce in 2011, I mean, they hammered it out for years. No prenup, $425 million, almost half of his net worth at the time.
Big mistake.
These names, some of these on the top most expensive divorces, you're not going to recognize. They're just rich. But this guy named Craig McCaw, he and his wife Wendy, he was the founder of Cellular and Clearwire Corporation.
So a businessman.
Right. They separated in 98. She got $460 million because a few years before their divorce, he sold his company to AT&T for somewhere around $12 billion.
Ouch.
Yeah, right. Just a few short years. So she got $460 million payout. Then there's this Russian couple. I'm going to butcher it. Number 8, Dmitry Rybolovlev and Elena Rybolovlev.
That's pretty good, man.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
26 years of marriage. They ended their marriage in 2008. She got $604 million.
Where are they from?
I'm guessing Russia.
Good eye, mate.
Number 7 on the list. You know the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas?
I'm familiar.
Stephen Wynn,
I've been
Steve
there.
Wynn.
I've partied there, and I've passed out there.
His wife, Elaine, $741 million he had to fork over to her in their divorce. And they were actually married. This was their second divorce. They were married the first time from 1963 to 1986, got remarried at some point, divorced again in 2010, and had to pay $741 million.
I'll tell you what.
Still not the most expensive divorce.
If Wealth Gorilla writes an article about you and your name is preceded with casino mogul, you've got bucks.
Yeah. Number 6, Adnan and Soraya Khashoggi,
Okay.
the Saudi Arabian billionaire.
And she
One of the
didn't marry
richest
him.
men in the world.
Didn't marry him for his height or his looks, but that's okay.
Now, this was back in 1982. They got divorced, and she walked away with $874 million. At the height of their wealth, it said the couple owned 3 planes, 3 yachts, and 17 homes.
Well, of course, you got to have 17 homes, man.
Those are investments.
Absolutely.
Harold Hamm and Sue Ann Arnall are number 5 on the list. He is CEO Harold Hamm. He's an oil magnate. And
he's an oilman. All business. No, all.
In 2012, they got divorced. He wrote her a check for $975 million in 2012, but she would not cash that check until 3 years later because she wanted more.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of money, but it was 5% of his net worth.
At the time, 5%.
Again, that's like
$975 million. How much more do you need?
Well, yeah. Once you've got 100 million, do you need 200
How much more do you
I don't
need?
know. I guess you always need another yacht or another house. I don't know.
Number 4, Bernie Ecclestone and
Who are these
Slavika Radic.
assholes?
Now, Ecclestone, isn't he like the Formula One racer guy? He owns doesn't he own like race cars or something?
Yeah.
I know he has a very rich daughter.
I've never heard of these guys.
His daughter is the one that bought Aaron Spelling's huge mansion in Los Angeles. Remember that ridiculous mansion? I think his daughter is the one that bought that. A single woman living in like that. It's ridiculous.
Right.
But his divorce in 2009, $1.2 billion. After long negotiations, they settled on the $1.2 billion payout.
That's the first one in the billion. So
Yes.
you got to be top 4 for $1 billion.
And then she invested that money, and they said she's doing really well, earning her own money on that initial investment.
Uh-huh.
Number 3, Rupert Murdoch and Anna Torv, getting back to names we recognize.
Let's see how old
After
like
30
Fox, right?
Yep. After 31 years of marriage, media mogul Rupert Murdoch and his
Mogul.
wife Maria Torv divorced in 1999. The couple agreed to an amicable separation, but did not give much away to media in terms of details. But a couple weeks after the divorce was finalized, Rupert married again. This time to Wendy Ding, 38 years his junior.
38
And to
years.
walk away amicably so he could marry his hot young thing, $1.7 billion.
If I was going to marry somebody 38 years younger than me, they'd have to be 22. Is that right? Is that 38 younger than me?
Well, you're going to be 50. 50 minus 38 is...
Did I do the math right? I can't believe I can't do that math in my head.
22.
Yeah, 22. Wow.
No, 12. Right? 38 plus 10 is 48. And then so 12. You'd have to be with a 12-year-old right
That
now.
is wheels.
And now we've gone
off.
Kirby. Let's move on.
That is wheels off.
Okay, now this, you know the woman that's described as the cat woman? She's had so much plastic surgery that she's just like destroyed her face. Her name is Jocelyn Wildenstein. She has the number 2 most expensive divorce in the world. And I think she just pops up on these, her husband or fiance right now is like some polo guy. And I think I was reading that she actually declared bankruptcy because, you know, when you have all this money and you have all these people like hangers on, I guess if you don't, you know, if you're just spending money like crazy, you can blow through it. But she divorced this man named Alec Wildenstein or Wildenstein. I don't know how you pronounce it. He's a French-American businessman and art dealer.
Okay.
They got divorced in 1999, but they were together for 21 years. She received $2.5 billion up front and then a further $100 million every year for 13 years. So even if she blew through it in 1 year, she knew that the next year I'm going to have another $100 million in my pocket.
That's pretty sweet.
And I think I read that she was declaring bankruptcy on some of her debts.
That's some pretty sweet spousal support there.
So you do all the math on that. That's a $3.8 billion divorce. That was number 2. And then, of course, number 1, Jeff and Mackenzie Bezos.
Yes.
$68 billion.
If Jeff Bezos, listener, good,
No
strong.
prenup there because remember, he started Amazon out of his garage.
Good, strong listener, good, strong, sweet listener. If Jeff Bezos, and Google Jeff Bezos if you don't know what his appearance looks like. If he wasn't worth $137 billion, would you hit that?
Well, Alan, he's a bald man. He probably has a lot of charisma.
It doesn't have anything. No, bald isn't what I was referring to. There are a lot of good-looking bald men.
Well, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, if he's got a good personality, personality goes a long way for sex appeal.
He's got eyes like Larry.
He's got a lazy eye. Are you making fun of his physical trait? I know you're not doing that.
No,
I know you're not doing that.
I wasn't making fun of his physical trait. I just said he's got eyes like Larry.
No, he doesn't. He has one lazy eye.
Oh, like a walleye?
What's a wall? I don't even know what that means.
It's always looking at the wall.
No, it's not a cockeye. It's a lazy eye.
Oh, you call it a cockeye? See, I don't think that's PC.
I think even commenting on it is rude. But that's my husband, Rude Allen. That's his new nickname. It's not A-Train. It's Rude Allen.
No. Listener, follow up with me at podcast@kellyandallen.com. The question was, would you hit Jeff Bezos if he wasn't worth $137
But
billion?
we don't know him. You're just because a lot of men go very
People
much.
judge people all the time online.
I
They
know.
don't know.
But you don't know his personality. He could be very charming. He could have a deep, buttery voice. I mean, there's a lot that goes into play on whether or not a woman is sexually attracted to somebody other than just how they look.
True. Because your husband has a deep, buttery voice. He, what is the other things you named? Great personality.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
Oh,
we're going to let Alan
Come
display
on.
his great personality and his sage advice in the next segment of the podcast,
oh, yeah.
Love Letters to Alan. But first,
Why don't you do a little bit of that?
Alan,
and
stop. I was about to do it. It was going to be a natural flow of things, and you just highlight it. We need it to be natural.
Hey, Kelly.
What? Do you not read the emails we get?
Hey, this
You
is
blow them off?
no, this is El Presidente.
Yeah.
Hey, I listened to that last podcast, and you and that jackass need to get on the same jig ding
Yeah,
page.
we do. Apparently we do.
You know, these spots are supposed to be conversational, Kelly.
Yeah, and when you're like pointing them
That
out,
jackass is always pointing things out.
stop.
Look, you need to nip that in the bud.
I tried.
All right, I'm gonna get Boss Man in on this if we don't get this fixed.
Oh Lord. You done?
Okay.
Thank you, El Presidente.
I'm going to Austin now.
All right. You see all the hashtags, don't you? Hashtag couple goals. I mean, come on. Hashtag skin goals, hashtag money goals. But have you thought about your hashtag hair goals? You should be totally in love with your hair. And if you're not, it's time to break up with your current hair care routine and try Function of Beauty instead. What I love most about Function of Beauty shampoo and conditioner is it is formulated just for me. And when you order your Function of Beauty, same thing. It's customized just for you. And it's very simple. You just go online to take a quick quiz. You're going to be asked about your hair type, what your personal goals are, your personal hair, hashtag hair goals. Mine were, I color my hair. I want to protect my colored hair. I want to fix the split ends and I want to grow it out. I want, to stay healthy as it grows long and soothe my irritated scalp. Then I got to choose the fragrance I wanted. You don't have to have a fragrance at all if you don't like fragrance. I chose lavender and it smells fabulous. You can even choose the color. And so you can choose like maybe 2 different colors. So if you're in the, you've got soap in your eyes and you're like, which one's my shampoo? Which is my conditioner? Oh, the pink is a shampoo. The blue is the conditioner, whatever. You can choose whatever color you want. They'll even put your name on the bottle. It's that customized. And like I said, it's the perfect blend of ingredients to help me achieve my hair goals. And I could tell a difference, honestly, after the first shampoo. So what's your formula going to be? There are over 54 trillion possibilities. Every ingredient Function of Beauty uses is vegan and cruelty-free. They never use any sulfites or parabens. You can also go completely silicone-free if you want. And Function of Beauty also offers completely personalized formulas for body and skin care too. You can literally customize your beauty routine, have it delivered straight to your door, hair to toe.
So never buy off the shelf just to be disappointed ever again. Go to functionofbeauty.com/sandwich, take your quiz, and save 20% off your first order. That applies to their full range of customized hair, skin, and body products. So go to functionofbeauty.com/sandwich to let them know Kellie and I sent you and get 20% off your order. That's functionofbeauty.com/sandwich.
All right. Have you got your advice hat on?
Your
advice pants?
Look, I'm going to say whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, take it seriously. These people are really in pain and they're looking for my advice, but I'm going to see what you have to say about some of these. Because I think people oftentimes know when they write me a love letter to Kellie, they know what I'm going to say, probably based on listening to me for years. Sometimes I'm maybe out throwing a little curveball, but anyway, do you know what Alan's going to say? We don't know until we ask him the questions, right? Ask Alan anything. All right. So, dear Alan, you are now the love expert in training. Mm-hmm. Here, this is from Allie. I'm in love with a friend of mine I work with. There have been times where I thought the feeling was mutual, but we've never dated. I told him how I felt, that I have to move on and create distance between us. He's never stated how he feels, only that he understands. I can't seem to get over him, though. I'm trying to create space and distance from him, but I'm afraid I won't be able to as long as I have this job. He'll send mixed messages like coming by over the holidays with a gift, long talks, etc. Even with COVID, we've hung out less, but it's still confusing to me. What would you tell Allie?
He's a friend.
Yeah, he's friend zone.
He's friends. He's a friend zone. Yeah. Well, it's always dicey getting involved with somebody at work.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, some people meet at work and they get married. I've known a lot of people that have done that, especially at the company I was at. A lot of people met there and then eventually got married. A lot of couples worked at that company. But so I'm not saying
it wasn't against the company policy.
No, I think
you also have to be careful with that.
It was if it was a supervisor subordinate situation.
Okay, but peer-to-peer was fine.
Peer-to-peer was fine, but I think after time went on, they started putting rules in, like if you're in the same department, you have to tell HR. But if it was another department, you didn't. There were a lot of different rules like that. But anyway, this sounds like a total friend zone. Yeah, she's into him. He's not into her because.
But he likes her as a friend.
Yeah,
that's why he comes by.
Sure, give a gift, give a card, sure.
And she's just wasting time and energy.
Wasting time.
And it's probably affecting her job performance too, right? Because she's pining around over him and trying to separate from him at work, and that's got to affect her job performance.
Well, yeah, she's supposed to be there doing work, and she's worried about this guy. Just move on.
All right, letter number 2. And this is from Nicole. I have been with my husband 8 years, married 3. We work apart during the week, so we don't see each other until weekends. He drinks a lot, which in turn makes us argue a lot. I knew from day one about his drinking problem, but I just don't know what to do when we're home together. I've had days where we spend time together in the yard, outside. It's been great, but by about 3 to 4 p.m., it's over. He's drunk, and I just can't handle talking to him because he's always right. We have older children now, and I'm at that age where I just want to travel and have fun, but I get to where I don't want to be around him. I guess what I'm asking is, do I just stick it out and continue with this life or move on? Remember I was just telling you about what the gray divorce is earlier? She said, and yes, I talk to him all the time about his drinking. I just get to where I try not to talk to him after 4 p.m. because I know we're just going to argue. What do I do?
I don't think, I wouldn't live a life like that. I wouldn't stick that out.
Right.
He's drunk all the time?
He's been drunk since day one. She said she's known it since day one. This is 8 years in.
Yeah, you're going to hang out with that? You're going to stick that out? No, absolutely not. His options are get him some help, and you can help him help himself, or move on. Who wants to stick around a drunk? I mean, I know a lot of people do, a lot of men do, a lot of women do, and I guess they just do it because they don't know any different.
Well, a lot of times there's financial reasons.
Yeah, and it's easy for me to sit here and say, hey, just freaking cut him and go, but you want to talk to a drunk every day? Yeah. You can't communicate with. It's tough communicating.
Up until 3 or 4 o'clock, and then he's out.
Yeah. Seriously, it's a difficult thing for a lot of couples to communicate on the same level when everything's good. And then you put in somebody's influenced by alcohol or drugs, into that. There's no communication that's going to happen. Nothing productive is going to happen there until he gets help. If he's drunk in the middle of the day, he's an alcoholic. Yeah. So he needs to address that.
And she married that, knowing that. We women have to also take some personal responsibility that we're settling. Because, honestly, and I'm not saying it's your fault that he's a drunk, but if you knew from day one that he was a drunk and you married him anyway, because women are like, well, I found a man, but I love him. And now I don't have to go out and find somebody else. We women are settling for crap. Just hold on a little bit longer. You never know what's around the corner. Isn't that right, honey?
Yeah. But if you love the man and you care for him.
Here, I'm giving advice. I should have said that.
Option 1 to me would be see if he's open to helping himself, getting help. He has to admit, man, I'm an alcoholic. I got a problem. I got to get this fixed.
Yeah. And give him a deadline. I'm not really usually a fan of deadlines, but.
Yeah, but if he's going to do the same bit that sadly a lot of alcoholics do, and that's say, yeah, I'll get help. They go. They kind of fall back into the same pattern, and the pattern repeats itself. And what's sad about situations like this too? Are there children involved?
Well, she said they have grown children.
Yeah, grown children.
So it sounds like it's not together, because if they've been married for 3, together 8.
Okay.
But she said we have older children, so it sounds like
older
a second
children.
marriage situation.
Yeah.
And she wants to travel now.
It's sad no matter what. But if there's a situation like this and there are younger children involved,
wouldn't raise your kids in the house like that.
No drunks in the house.
All right, Alan, I am a 37-year-old woman who has not been able to have children. However, I've met a wonderful, perfect man who has 2 beautiful children he has full custody of, and they fill a gap that I've had all my life. My relationship's like a fairy tale. His children love me. I love them. We've even been talking about marriage in the future. However, there's one little problem. Their mom doesn't like me. We've never even met each other, though. She refuses to get to know me, and because of this, she doesn't want me around for special things like birthdays or activities that the kids do at school. My boyfriend wants me around, but he doesn't want drama to happen in front of his kids, so we both made the decision I'll just stay out of those types of things. I understand why it's happening, but it crushes me. I've been trying to deal with it, but the last time this happened, I found myself bawling my eyes out for a few days. My boyfriend feels so bad that it hurts me so much, but we're trying to put the children first to keep everything cordial. I know he's not leaving me out to hurt me. However, I don't know how to get over these feelings. Do you have any advice to help me?
Unfortunately, this is a story that I've heard before. This is this is probably a little more common than you think. I mean, I know there are parents that are divorced that are cordial, and they understand that eventually my ex-husband or ex-wife is going to remarry, and they're going to have another parent in their life. My children, my biological children, are going to have another parent around, and they get it. They understand that.
And the best case scenario is you get along with them. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, what's the alternative?
Well, yeah. And, she's creating all kinds of tension because, if you don't want, she doesn't want you around at functions. Okay. That's already sending a message to the children that, well, okay, this woman my dad is with, why does my mom not like her? It puts the children in the middle of everything, and I know this is about, you're saying, well, what should I do about her? The children are in the middle of this. So I guess the advice I could give would, you just got to have a conversation with her. If it's not even amicable enough to have a face-to-face with, then a text message or an email or something that says, look, I understand you're their real mom, but, I'm here to support the children as much as I can. I know I'll never be their real mom. I don't know. You just got to have an open and honest conversation about your role as the stepmom. Well, eventually the stepmom in the situation.
Do you think they should wait until maybe there is a ring and a date before the woman starts showing up at these school functions? Because then now it's solidified that she's going to be a part of your lives. Maybe the kid's mom is thinking, oh, she's just a girlfriend and he's going to blow through her and blow through so many women. Or she's holding out hope they can get back together. Who knows what the mom's thinking?
No, I don't think so. I think if
they don't have to be engaged before she starts going.
I think if the father, if the dad has, if he has strong intentions, good intentions with this woman, and she's a girlfriend, and he's somebody that, he's going to have in his future, then why can't she come to the functions? What's wrong with that?
I agree. And Alan, in his divorce, y'all had an agreement 6 months that he couldn't introduce the kids to me until we were monogamous, I guess, or you knew I was the only one. You singled me out. This is the relationship I want to pursue for 6 months.
Yeah.
And that's a long time. In my book, I thought, oh my God, when we were in it, it felt like forever. And then once I met the kids, it was like, okay, well then that anticipation was over. And now we're, together for so long. But I can see, I think that's a good rule. It doesn't necessarily have to be 6 months. It could be 3 or whatever
So I don't know if I answered the question, but here, the advice I'm trying to give is eventually you got to have a conversation with her. You don't want these negative feelings between each of you, especially if things progress and you actually marry this man. And then you're definitely going to be at these activities.
Yeah.
And, like Kellie said, and I believe this too, you don't have to be best friends with anybody, but you do have to be polite and cordial, in my opinion. You don't have to be best buddies. You don't got to go to lunch. You don't got to go to dinner. You don't need to talk to each other on the phone all the time, but you do have to show respect for one another in front of the kids.
Exactly. Agreed. Let's see. My mom is getting married to her fiance, but he's very off and on with whether he talks to me or not. I was okay with him until I was told we were moving in together. Should I tell my mom how I feel about him or just let her think I'm okay with the idea? That's from Kennedy.
I'm sorry, man. I got the players mixed up there.
The mom is marrying her fiance.
Okay.
And sometimes the man talks to her, sometimes he doesn't. It's like a cool kind of relationship.
Talks to the daughter or talks
to the daughter?
Okay.
Kennedy is writing about her mom getting married. And now what happens when you get married, you all have to live together. And so she's never said anything, but the guy like barely talks to her. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. She said, I was okay with him until I was told we were moving in together. Now she wants to know, should I talk to my mom about this or not?
How old is she?
She didn't say. Her name is Kennedy, though.
Okay, so she could be anywhere from 18 to 35. We don't know.
She could be 12.
She could be a kid.
Yeah. If she's still living at home with her mom, they're assuming she's a kid or a teenager.
Okay. Talk to your mother. Yeah, I would say bring it up with your mom. Just, I'm glad you're getting married, Mom. I'm happy for you. But, I'm a little uncomfortable when there's no speaking. This is weird. Can we all three sit down and talk about, how this is going to be moving forward?
Yeah, but if you have that conversation with the the two of you in front of the kid, that makes it even more awkward for the kid. She'd want mom to go talk to him without her being there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just talk to your mom about it first.
And let her, hopefully she will handle it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then maybe she says, all three of us, let's talk about it. I don't know. You know what? I'm all for cutting through the bullshit and let's get everybody on the same freaking page. You know?
Why are you getting so fired up?
Because it's just like, this happens a lot where one person says something to this person, and this person says something to this person, and we could have solved this if all of us had just been sitting in the same room and just figured it out.
Yeah, but when you're dealing with a teenager or something, you can't really always have those conversations in front of a kid because they shut down.
I understand.
And it gets really uncomfortable.
I understand.
For the kid.
That kind of, when simple things like, I'm not saying this is simple, but when communication sometimes it's so much easier if everybody would just be open and honest about what they're feeling and thinking.
That's true. It would save a lot of time and problems.
Right.
But then I wouldn't have a podcast called Love Letters to Kellie if people just communicated like they were supposed to.
Good call.
Well, real quick, before we let Alan answer maybe a couple more letters, let him calm down because he got real fired up. But you have your Star Wars list.
Not fired up at all.
We might let you just do that. Listen,
you haven't seen me fired up.
If you ask me where my favorite place in the world is, without hesitation, it's my own bed. I love my bed. No matter where I travel, about 3 or 4 days in, all I'm thinking about is getting back home and crawling into my bed and covering myself in my luxurious Brooklinen sheets. Brooklinen was started to create beautiful, high-quality home essentials that do not cost an arm and a leg because Brooklinen works directly with manufacturers. So they're able to make that luxury available directly to you without the luxury level markups. Brooklinen is more than just those buttery, soft, breathable sheets. Brooklinen also has plush, absorbent towels. How many times have you used a big, soft towel and it's like just moving the water around on your body? Brooklinen towels absorb that water comfortably, beautifully. They have cozy robes, comfy loungewear. You want to put it on and never take it off. And Brooklinen has something for your every comfort need, ideal for a seasonal refresh because they're launching new products, colors, and patterns all the time. And they're so confident in their core products that they come with a 365-day warranty. And their customer service, clearly, they're getting their 8 hours every night because they are a dream to work with if you ever have an issue. Brooklinen's also received over 75,000 five-star reviews and counting. If your everyday has started to feel ordinary and blah, transform it into something magical by upgrading your bedding, your loungewear, your towels, your robes with Brooklinen.
Yes, so give yourself the comfort refresh you deserve and get it for less at Brooklinen. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code Kellie. Okay.
That's my favorite code ever.
Kellie to get $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's Brooklinen, BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code Kellie. Kellie for $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100.
What's that code again, Alan? Give me the website and code again.
Absolutely. That's brooklinen.com, promo code Kellie.
I still want that on a t-shirt. It's my favorite.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Sure.
Do you think that the marketing people at Brooklinen know?
They don't like you.
Well,
they don't like you. That's what I think.
Do you think that they think that I'm the guy that does all, like, slides the things up and down on the board, but I don't ever appear on the podcast?
No, honey. They just really, really prefer me. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Okay, are we going to do another love letter and get me all fired up, or are we going to do Star Wars?
Let's do your Star Wars stuff.
You didn't like my advice?
No, it's just you got so riled up, and I don't like you. You almost popped a neck vein. I didn't like that.
I almost popped a neck vein?
And Star Wars brings you so much joy, and this podcast is dropping on May the 4th.
May the 4th.
And you've been, secretly scribbling this list the entire podcast.
I haven't been secretly scribbling anything.
I'd like to know what you wrote down.
Well, since tomorrow is Star Wars Day, people love lists. I thought I would give my top 10 favorite Star Wars characters, and then Star Wars characters that they whip me. Mm-hmm. They just whip me. I don't understand. Some of them I don't know their names because they whip me so bad.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. So I thought I'd start with.
Go ahead.
Let me start with.
Are they in any particular order?
No, not in any particular order. These are my personal favorite Star Wars characters. First one is Yoda and Baby Yoda. So Yoda and Grogu.
Yeah.
Can I count the Mandalorian? Yeah, because they're in the Star Wars universe. Of course I can count them. So Yoda, who was in, the original trilogy, right?
But he wasn't in the Mandalorian.
No, that was Grogu, but Baby Yoda. I just like that they're just all wise, Yoda is all wise, all knowing, knows the master of the Force. Yoda. I'm nerding out right now.
And you just got started.
And I just got started. Number 2, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Now, Vader is one of my favorites because if you think about it, a lot of people think Star Wars is about spaceships and, wars and laser beams and, lightsabers. Star Wars is the story of Anakin Skywalker, his fall, becoming Darth Vader, and then redemption. That's what the entire Star Wars story is about. And I love stories of that, where somebody's got it going their way, then they fall, then they climb back up and redeem themselves.
Let me just tell you, if you ever go to Disney World and you go to the Hollywood Studios where they have the Star Wars land, the Galaxy's Edge now, they also have a place where you can meet Darth Vader.
Yes, I met
him. Go do that. It is incredible. It is, I know that, we don't tell our kids, like, that's not really, these are people in costume. It is so intimidating and scary, wasn't it?
Shit, I thought Darth Vader was standing there.
It was so real.
He chased me out of the room.
And he talks to you, and it's like they give you such personal attention. Please don't miss that. If you're a Star Wars fan, you have to do that at Disney World.
And I thought Darth Vader was big. I walk in there and he's like 7 foot tall.
So big.
And then we walk in there and see Chewie. He's about 8 foot tall.
I know. So cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Okay, so Vader. Third one, Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You're our only hope. Yeah, Obi-Wan. And, a lot of these are probably a lot of people's favorites. Number 4, Luke Skywalker. Although I hated how his character got killed off in the Disney Star Wars movies. It was ridiculous. The Disney Star Wars movies were ridiculous.
Well, when he came back, it was that whole
Well, he was on the island, beaten down, drinking green milk and he tossed a lightsaber over his shoulder, and then he faded away doing a forced telepathy or something. It's like, what in the hell just happened?
I know. I don't know.
You remember how disappointed I was?
I just remember when he was a young Luke Skywalker, he was just so whiny. Remember how whiny he was when he was first coming along?
Kind of like I am on the podcast.
Yeah.
Number 5, kind of an obscure character, but I love him. Darth Maul. Remember Darth Maul?
Was he the red one?
Yeah, he was red and black. He had the horns.
Why did you like him?
He was just a badass. It was the first time in Star Wars you saw a dude that had a double saber and he was doing like kung fu shit.
You've really cussed a lot on this podcast.
Have I?
Yeah.
You think I cuss a lot on this podcast?
You've cussed a lot on this podcast.
You think I cuss a lot on this podcast?
Well, you've cussed a lot on this podcast.
Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Han Solo.
Is that Harrison
Ford?
I love him.
What about the Han Solo movie? Did you ever see that?
I don't know.
You didn't?
I don't know if I did or not.
We saw it together.
Then yes, I did. I don't remember. But I do like Harrison Ford a lot.
Next one, his sidekick, Chewbacca, Chewie.
Oh, and again, we met him at Disney World, and you just want to hug him. He's so sweet. You'll have to do that.
And then the last one of my favorites, I think, would be Samuel Jackson.
What about Princess Leia?
Well, I'll get to that. Playing Mace Windu. Jedi Master Mace Windu. I don't like Princess Leia in the Star Wars movies.
What?
No.
Why?
The only movie I was really digging Leia was when she was in that bronze bikini.
She's every little horny 12-year-old poster
on Tatooine, and she was like Jabba the Hutt's slave.
Ugh,
and then
Jabba the Hutt was so gross.
Oh, he was nasty. Okay, just real quick because I know we're about to finish up here. The characters that whip me the most.
Well, apparently Princess Leia.
She doesn't whip me. I just didn't care for her character. The characters that whip me the most, the Ewoks.
Yeah, they're annoying.
The only reason they came up with Ewoks is to sell merch. Let's be real. We're going to sell
Are they
merch.
the ones that are scavengers that always
Yeah, they
steal
look like
everything?
little teddy bears. So we're going
Yeah.
to sell 1 million teddy bears.
Are Ewoks the ones that steal everything?
No, those were the Jawas.
Oh, I was thinking of the Jawas.
The Ewoks lived on
They were just cute little
indoor
stuffy thing. Yeah, fluffy things.
I am nerding out right now. The next one I really dislike are the stormtroopers. This is your generic stormtrooper.
Well, stormtroopers are just, they're worthless.
They run around in plastic armor. They can't hit anything.
Never.
They never shoot anything. I've never seen a stormtrooper shoot anyone.
Their armor protects them from nothing.
Right.
They're really a waste of space.
Waste of space.
I agree with you on that.
Didn't the Royals play Star Wars characters?
Yeah,
though?
Harry and William.
They played stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were huge Star Wars fans.
How you like that? I know a little bit about the Royals. And then the last two that whip me, they kind of go together. Anakin Skywalker, played by Christian Haydenson, and Padme, who was Anakin's love interest, played by Natalie Portman. Those two,
you didn't care for
the chemistry between those two was some of the most, other than this segment right now, some of the most awkward content that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
No,
he wasn't good, and they're bringing him back for some Disney Plus.
They're bringing him back for the Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
Hayden Christensen gets a really bad rap for playing Anakin because he was so whiny, and sand beat him down.
But you know what? That was the direction he was given.
Wow.
Well, are you not including the Mandalorian?
Oh, Din Djarin. Yeah, I had Din Djarin on here, right behind Baby Yoda. Sorry. Yeah, the Mandalorian. He's right there. He's probably my favorite. Yeah, the Mandalorian. Din Djarin.
And
who?
Gina Carano.
Oh, yeah, Gina Carano.
Oh, my gosh, Alan. You love her.
I love Gina Carano more than I love her character. Her character's
she wasn't the best actress.
Yeah,
she really wasn't.
No,
but we love Gina Carano.
I love Gina Carano.
It's like one of Alan's celebrity crushes. The other day, he was like, somebody asked him who his celebrity crushes were. He said Gina Carano and some other woman. I'm like, who the hell is that? And he's like, she's a professional golfer. I'm like, oh, okay. Because I was like, I don't know who she was.
I got JC all on that too.
The golfer?
Yes. I said, dude, you got to check this out. He's like, my man. He said, thanks for the tip.
Oh, my goodness. Y'all are ridiculous.
All right, babe. Those are my top Star Wars characters.
Well, I'm glad you got to celebrate May the 4th. May the 4th be with all of you and your loved ones. And hopefully we'll all get to go back to Disney World one day and get to meet Darth Vader and Chewbacca again. And go to that bar. They have a bar there, just like the one from Star Wars. But Alan and I, we weren't thinking, and we ended up missing. You have to have a reservation to get in there for like weeks and weeks and weeks, maybe even months in advance, and we missed it. We'll go back again someday.
Yeah, we will.
Someday.
Some of our live studio audience has chimed in on some of the Star Wars content. One of our very best customers, Amy Wilkerson, is not sure if the characters that I mentioned are from Land of the Lost or if they're from Star Wars.
I love Land of the Lost when I was a kid. In the land of the lost.
Yeah, good call, babe.
That was so bad and awesome.
When somebody hasn't ever watched Star Wars, which is fine, I understand. They've never seen it, or they don't understand it, or they don't want to see it. That's as foreign to me as when I say I haven't seen any of the Grease movies and I have no desire to see any of the Grease movies.
There's only 2.
I didn't know that. To me, there could have been 50 the way people talk about them. But yeah.
Well, Grease 2 is often overlooked, but it's one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion.
Never seen it.
I'm not going to repeat it verbatim because I always mess it up.
Verbatim.
But there's at one point where the girls are chasing the cool rider on his motorcycle, and she thinks she's about to get in a car crash. She's like, oh my God, I'm going to die, and I'm wearing my mom's underwear. And it was just so funny. And then Michelle Pfeiffer sings Cool Rider, Cool Rider, COOLRIDER. I love that movie so much. Matthew Caulfield.
What you just heard, and you couldn't see because this is an audio format, but what you just heard is the reason I don't like Grease, is because every time you bring it up, it's almost, I don't want to sound I don't want to sound like I'm stereotyping here, but it's
What?
98% times a woman or a gal who starts singing and doing hand gestures.
We love it so much.
All this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I don't get it.
That's the thing. Now, I think you can never watch it now, at least not with me, because you're going to make comments and ruin it.
Yes.
So I don't want to watch Grease with you. How's that? But for everybody else, if you've never seen Grease 2, I don't know if it holds up. It just some great memories for me, because when I got HBO, my family got HBO way, way back in the day, the movies they played all the time was, what's that? Victory, that Sylvester Stallone Pele soccer movie.
Yeah, that was
which is really a good movie. It's where they're like in this prison camp and they play soccer, and it's really good. I don't want to ruin the movie in case you want to go see Victory. They also played Grease 2 over and over and over, which is why I love it so much. And there was also a Pirates of the Caribbean. The Pirates of Penzance. As a Broadway play. They did a movie with Christy McNichol and Christopher Atkins from Blue Lagoon. It was called The Pirate Movie. And they played those 3 movies over and over and over. And that's why I love them so much. Have you ever seen The Pirate Movie?
I haven't.
It's so good.
That's another genre I don't care for. Pirate movies.
Well, this is a musical. It's based on the Broadway play.
That makes it even worse. Yeah.
I'm a modern major general.
Something,
major general. Why are you telling me to stop talking?
I was just doing a Robert bit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You weren't doing it in your Robert accent.
Stop talking.
Sounded more like Alan telling me to stop talking.
One of our very best customers, Andrea Gullidge, who you mistakenly referred to as Andrea Dowling one time and then couldn't remember.
Now you got me all confused. Is her maiden name Gullidge or Dowling? Now you got me. Okay, so it's Andrea Gullidge.
That's our friend's name. Yeah, our friend's name is Andrea Gullidge.
Right. So I got like one email from Dowling and one from Gullidge, and I got really confused.
And her husband is Big Strong Trey.
Yes.
Anyway, she said she's also in our live studio audience, holding up a Jar Jar Binks sign with a big no symbol through it.
Yeah, people
forgot about Jar Jar Binks.
But I feel bad for him because the
actor
that played him, he went through some
heavy
heavy stuff because of that. I mean, like really bad.
Star Wars fans can be brutal.
Well, because he was so excited to finally be part of the Star Wars universe, and then his character and people were like wanting him to die and stuff, and it's really sad.
Yeah, no,
not to make you feel bad.
I've heard about
but
that.
It is true. He had a real hard time dealing with the backlash.
No, but let's face it, and no one in Star Wars likes Jar Jar Binks.
I don't even know what was the problem.
He's just annoying. Looks like a big
there
duck.
are a lot of annoying
Looks like
characters.
A big duck, and he's got these goofy eyes.
There's a lot of the characters.
He's got
in
rabbit
Star
ears,
Wars.
and he walks funny, and it's just
that's the way all the characters are in
you
Star
can't
Wars.
understand what he's saying.
You can't understand them in the they were like blah, 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 and you have to read the subtitles.
Exactly. They never gave you subtitles for Jar Jar.
Y'all are too mean to Jar Jar. I got Jar Jar's back.
All right,
we're ready to go. We've talked way too long, but thank you for hanging out with us for another podcast. We're going to podcast again real soon.
And in the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich. Bye.
All right. Yeah, my screen went black mode, so I'm sorry about that yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Because at a certain time, I guess
I couldn't see it.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to touch it. So I'm afraid if I touched it, it might disappear. So I just let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Thank you, Jenna. Not either. Linda, I think stereo is on hold until further notice.
Yeah. We were helping launch the project.
Amen. Rah.
Kellie and Alan.
Rah. Let it go. Let it go. All right, guys. We will talk to y'all real soon. I'm going to do a little upload here and So sayonara until
Until Wednesday.
Wednesday.